Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Legion Alpha, and finally, we get to take a look at the Vengeance Demon Hunter. This is the tank spec just put into the game, and I would say it's probably one of the more unfinished things. Our artifact weapon apparently has only very few things on it. I haven't seen it yet. This is the first time I'm going to get to play it. Well, kind of. One warning I will put out there, you're going to get access to your Demon Hunter a little bit early if you want pre-order Legion, and anyone who does roll a Demon Hunter, you get to choose your specialization about midway through the prologue. There's big introduction to this new hero class. I would really recommend that you stick as DPS up until this point, at least, which is when you're going to get your artifact weapon, as it is horrible. It's a horrible, horrible experience doing that remainder of the prologue. It's a good 30 minutes of combat, even if you know the route as a tank. It's really bad. So, as this is brand new, there's going to be a brief overview. There's links up above if you want to jump straight into the artifact quest or see me do it if you know what happens and you just want to see if I noob it up, which I might, and all those kind of good things, and eventually reaching our class hall, which you may already have seen in the previous iterations of the Demon Hunter in the Havoc spec. Okay then, so what do we have? Lots of funky looking spells here. A lot of what happens is you switch over to Vengeance, and a lot of your spells switch around. In fact, you have very few of the spells that are accessible by the DPS spec. So let's go through them then. Let's do the sigils first of all. You have Sigil of Chains. Now this is Gorfiend's Grasp. Yay! Another class will have Gorfiend's Grasp. Yes, you place a sigil in a location like this, and then it will pull everything towards it. You can see that explosion. It's going to drag all the mobs to it, so it's Gorfiend's Grasp. You then have an AoE slow in the place of Sigil of that's the wrong one. Sigil of Chains, I should say, wherever it is. Sigil of Chains. No, Sigil of Chains is Gorfiend's. I'm just being so silly. The Sigil of Chains, the Gorfiend's Grasp, actually does the slow. Sorry, these are all brand new. I've only seen them about 25 minutes ago. Sigil of Silence. Place a Sigil of Silence at the target location. It activates after 2 seconds, and we'll do an AoE silence for 6 seconds. Very cool for tanking. Really like that. A Sigil of Flame. You place a Sigil of Flame at the target location for activates after 2 seconds, and will burn everything. Give them a nice burn dot that goes on everything. It's a 1 minute cooldown for that. Our resource system is called Pain. Yeah. This entire class is designed for teenagers. I'm sure of it. Pain is your resource. I'm painful. Whatever. So, Pain is our resource system. Now, the way this is going to work, this spec initially strikes me as probably a very early Feral Guardian Druid. I mean, when it was still called Feral, going that far back. Based kind of a lot on the Warrior. So, what we have is this one ability which you can kind of equate to Shield Slam in many ways. It has a 9-second cooldown. It's called Fell Blade. You strike with a flaming blade, causing some fire damage. Generates 20 pain. Right? What we have then is a spender of pain called Soul Cleave. It's cost 40 pain, so you need 2 Fell Blades to activate a Soul Cleave. A Vicious Strike that deals physical damage to all enemies in front of you as a cone. Okay, so think of this as Cleave or Revenge is how I've been thinking of it. It severs 3 soul back fragments, but that's the talent stuff. We'll go there. So you get to spend it on a big cleave attack. And then in between that, we have essentially Devastate, which is called Shear. An instant strike that causes some physical damage and reduces the cooldown of Fellblade. So whereas Devastate has a chance to proc Shield Slam, what Shear does is simply you spam it and it'll just reduce the cooldown of Fellblade. So Shear costs absolutely nothing. It's your fully spammable ability, similar to Devastate, where you'll just be spamming and spamming and spamming and spamming and spamming, okay? So let's flick through our other abilities. We have Immolation Aura. It's only a 10-second cooldown, where you engulf yourselves in flames, instantly causing fire damage to everything near you. The animation is a little bit weak sauce right now. That's it. And nothing happens to mobs, really, other than they take fire damage. So I'm hoping that maybe gets improved at some point. It's a very, very, very low cooldown, like 10 seconds. I would love this to have some sort of alteration to it, as I felt as when I was using it, I was like spamming this thing constantly. It is an extra button, which I think is what Blizzard's aiming for. If you're not using Immolation Aura, you're bound to these 3 buttons, and one of them takes like a while to activate. So that seems to be the idea there. In my opinion, anyway. Spectral Sight, which is something the DPSs have, where you can see mobs and you can see treasures all around you. Should you browse around, they will be highlighted on your screen. You have Throw Glaive, which is your range pulse, similar to Heroic Throw. Hits 3 targets, or even Avenger's Shield, if you want to look at it that way. Consume Magic, which is your Interrupt. Now, it doesn't have any extra benefits. In the DPS spec, this gives you a full bar of energy, or resources, I forget what it's called. But in this one, it does absolutely nothing. It's just a straight interrupt. Okay? We then get Fiery Brand. This is basically Demoralizing Shout. You brand your target with a burning demonic symbol, burning them for some fire damage, but reduce the damage they do to you by 40% for 8 seconds, okay? So it's got that sort of demo shout feel to it. Charged active mitigation is called Demon Spikes, okay? It's got a 13-second recharge, 2 charges, you can see there. You surge with Foul Power, increasing your parry chance by 20% and reducing physical damage taken by 29% for 6 seconds. Okay, so you're going to be using that pretty regularly. Our big cooldown is meta. 3-minute cooldown for the tank, so compared to the 6 minutes that the DPSs get, where you transform into a demon form for 10 seconds. It increases your current and maximum health by 30% and generates pain. So you can put a lot of soul cleaves out there. That does tie into mitigation. So don't think of it as a straight up health gain, which sounds kind of weak sauce for many tanks who are experienced like a straight health gain. We actually spec'd out of that in several ones. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. That totally makes sense. And of course, we have Taunt in the form of Torment, which you know what it is. You actually get this at the very, very, very end of doing the prologue, which is part of why it's such a horrible experience, because you can't taunt. In fact, you don't get attacked by much at all throughout the prologue, which means you're just sort of badly DPSing. The one noticeable thing here, which I really dislike already, and I know I'm not going to like it in comparison to its DPS brother, is that Fell Charge changes into, or Fell Rush, I should say, changes into Infernal Strike. This is Heroic Leap. It is miles more clunky than Fell Rush. Fell Rush can do cool stuff through the air and zipping across the room, and was a really cool aspect to the Demon Hunter that I found particularly awesome. It really gave that sense of mobility. This Heroic Leap version is far more restrictive, doesn't work with line of sight, clips into everything, similar to Heroic Leap. In fact, less so than Heroic Leap because it's a much shorter range. So it's just really so much more clunky. I'm hoping and praying they change this back to Fell Rush for tanks, because it's just less cool. It's nice to have the charge animation, which is Ace. Well, it doesn't cause LUA errors, which it doesn't do. Yeah, there you go. That is very, very super cool. If you want to have that, I would love that to be an extra button, as the tank Demon Hunters don't get Vengeful Retreat, which is the backflip ability that the DPS specs get. That would be fine. Put that leap in there somewhere that actually does damage. I would rather Fell Rush not do damage and be used for mobility like Roll, rather than this incarnation of Infernal Strike. This is just... If you've played Fell Rush and you've played your Demon Hunter, switching to this just feels like if someone's just put chains on your ankles and literally strapped you to the floor. It feels horrible. So that's something to bear in mind there. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of talents that aren't yet implemented. They're still very much in development of this spec. So let's have a look at what we do have. We have Abyssal Strike. Infernal Strike range increased by 10 yards and generates 20 pain if it damages at least one target. Okay, so that is the leap ability, which is horrible to use. And when we're tanking, it's not a great thing. So this talent's a little lackluster in my opinion. It would be nice if it did some sort of movement speed as well or something like that. Speed Demon, Fellblade now causes you to charge to your target, okay? So Fellblade is this ability, giving you the charge to get there. Again, it's one of those things that if we're tanking, we're very rarely having to dart about the place. They seem to be focusing a little bit on mobility in the talents that's not always necessary. So this is less interesting. Especially when you compare it to Soul Flare, your auto attacks have a chance to spawn a Soul Fragment. These heal you and are far more beneficial so far, at least in this early level of gameplay. At level 100, we get Agonizing Flames. Increase the damage and radius of immolation aura by 100%. Or you get Blade Turning, where parrying an attack generates 4 pain. Pain is really hard to get, at least in this stage of the game. Like, you can only really get it from Fellblade, and it just feels like you're not getting to Soul Cleave forever. It feels like you're waiting for an eternity. And when you're AoE tanking, you're parrying, obviously, a lot more. You get a lot more pain in order to put out a lot more Soul Cleaves. I found that far better, even in the early testing, which I've only done the prologue, so experience, not really. I've got to jump into some dungeons on this. Feast of Soul Fragments give you a hot, which is very cool. And moving down into some of these then. So we have Burning Alive. Every 2 seconds, your fiery brand deals fire damage and spreads from the primary target to a nearby enemy. Really like this. Fiery Brand, of course, is your Demoralizing Shout. So your Demoralizing Shout will actually spread. Pain Tolerance, you generate 4 pain every second while you're below 20 pain. And as you're going to be dumping pain into Soul Cleave, yeah, that's something you need to bear in mind there. So you can see Soul Cleave severs 3 soul fragments from your target, healing you for 5% of your maximum health. A lot of self-healing coming out of the Vengeance Demon Hunter. A lot of self-healing coming out of there. So what you'll be using there is building up pain to then get, like, dump a lot of Soul Cleaves and get some heals, which is very nice. Violet Sigils. When a sigil affects an enemy, it has a chance to spawn, again, a soul fragment, which I've just explained to you, these little purple things. We'll see them in the combat in the artifact quest, I'm sure, which heal you up. The Blades of Anguish. Sheer has a chance to immediately reset the cooldown of Fellblade. Can't wait for that. but that is essentially the shield slam proc from Devastate is now a talent. Quicken sigils, all sigils are now triggered at your location and activate 1 second faster, and the cooldown is reduced. Very nice if you're doing some AoE spam, especially if like Sigil of Flame gets really, really good. But for Sigil of Silence and for Gorfeed's Grasp, maybe not that useful. It's only for Sigil of Flame I really see some benefits there. Obviously, counter dependent. Sometimes you might really want a lot of Gorfeed's Grasp types abilities going off. Soul Rending, increase your leech by 100% while Metamorphosis is active, kind of adding some more defensive ability to meta. That could be quite cool, and was an ability that I kind of said when we looked at the DPS Demon Hunter, that sounds like a tank ability, and there it is. Level 106, Nemesis, increase the damage you inflict against the target by 10% for 2 minutes. When the target is slain, you will inflict a 10% additional damage against all creature types, matching the original target. Would love this to have been down here, so we could have used this while out in the world in some manner. That would have been nice. Sigil of Misery. Place a Sigil of Misery at the target location that activates after 2 seconds, causing all enemies affected by the Sigil to cower in fear. Kind of like a Shockwave type ability in some respects. Whether or not that fear breaks really easily, we don't know yet. Can't really test it. Soulmate. Marks a friendly target as your soulmate for 15 seconds. How beautiful. Consuming a soul fragment heals your soulmate for 3%. So some off-tanking utility there. How useful that will be compared to like Nemesis or Sigil of Misery, that is yet remaining to be seen. And of course, not yet implemented for the remainders. So our basic playstyle so far is going to be sort of keeping Immolation Aura ticking. I'm yet to see the math on whether it's worth an extra 1 second cooldown for the sake of the global or activating Immolation Aura. That's kind of where that ties in single target. And AoEing will be definitely using things like Sigil of Flame. We'll be using the single target anyway, really, and Immolation Aura. But essentially our basic idea is to use Fellblade on cooldown to generate pain. Spam Shear in between to get that more Fellblades to get more pain, and then using Soul Cleave to spend that pain. That's kind of how it's looking right now. Alright? So, after all that, which is very basic and literally takes my knowledge of the prologue, where you're essentially DPSing from behind and not tanking, let's begin. The Call of the Illidari. Master Asondri. Kain requests that you meet him at Krasus Landing. At once, Corvus leans in close, her voice an urgent whisper. You must hurry. The Legion has eyes everywhere. So, let us begin our journey of our tanking Demon Hunter. And it's just going to be a new bar, so I haven't got a mount on it. As you can see, I'm still using the Warglaives, which is what you finish up the prologue with. But we're obviously going to be changing that to the kind of fist weapons that the Vengeance Demon Hunter gets, which has had some sort of critical response. Understandably, the Warglaives are far cooler than what we've seen from any of the models. I mean, it's subjective, of course, but it's generally agreed that we would have preferred Warglaives for the tanks, and I tend to agree on that. The Warglaives are so much cooler than the fist weapons, and this class is all about being cool. In fact, from what I've seen so far, the tank spec doesn't seem to fit the mold of the Demon Hunter at all. There aren't many cool abilities. There are no I-beams. There are no blade dances. There are none of those things that made everybody's dick get hard when we saw the initial DPS Demon Hunter. This is a very, very, very different, far less enigmatic, far less interesting, and far less spectacular spec than we saw from the Havoc. I want to make sure I get my names right here with these new specs. I believe it's the Havoc Demon Hunter, isn't it? Yeah, it's from the Havoc Demon Hunter. So, well, let's see what happens here. Lord Illidan knows the way. I'm glad Corvus found you quickly, Master. Remember. The power to survive. We have long relied on Lord Illidan to vanquish the Legion's strongest warriors. Many have expressed concern over our efforts without him. Thankfully, their concerns may not matter much longer. We know of 2 pairs of blades rumored to be more powerful than even Lord Illidan's that are not yet out of reach. If we act quickly, we should be able to hunt down one without forsaking our watch over the Legion's movements. I must defer judgment on which is most worthy of our time to you, Master Asondri. Trust in Lord Illidan. So we are going for the vengeance. The mighty Aldraki were one of the few to stand against the Burning Legion. It took Sergeras to fell their greatest champion, seizing his warblades in the process. Now, the traitorous Ildari Carrier, servant of Kil'jaeden, wields the infamous warblades. The more souls she claims, the more powerful she becomes. And that's what we're going to get, these Aldraki warblades. When you use Soul Cleave, the Aldraki warblades have a chance to unleash the torment of 1,000 souls, dealing some fire damage to all enemies within 6 yards, and healing you for 20% of your health over 10 seconds. So again, a lot of self-healing coming with the Demon Hunter. I felt that the self-healing aspect of tanks was really going to be reduced heavily in Legion, but it's in favor of just the DKs basically having that as their niche. But yeah, the Demon Hunters do seem to have quite a lot. Well chosen. There isn't a moment to spare. Asking a favour. Carrier Fellsoul was one of our best. Before she answered the Legion's foul call, She now wields the Eldraki Warblades, the soul-rending armaments of the ancient race's greatest champion, who fell only to Sargras himself. We sent a party to track Karia down, but we have not heard from them in some time. Jace has nearly repaired a Legion communicator so we can make contact. We need only a power source. Could you ask Khadgar for assistance? Our friends in this world are few. Alright, let's go see Khadgarnuts. See what he's going on with. I didn't think he'd be involved in this quest, but there you go. I don't know why, but I have a feeling Khadgar doesn't like demon hunters. I'm not sure what that's about, but I think I've completely fabricated that in my own mind. So, don't read anything into that. I'm sure there's no law precedent set for that. Thrall, nice to see you there. Keep it good. I'm really excited to get into tanking some dungeons with this. I think, unfortunately, when I do the quick look for the Demon Hunter, I'm going to have to include some footage of me actually tanking, which could be spoilerish. Sandri, Councilman, this is the Demon Hunter I was telling you about. Yeah, he has no problem with Demon Hunters. I was just fabricating that whole thing.
Gul'dan and the Legion must be stopped.
Okay,
Where
then.
you lead, we will follow.
A Legion communicator? Khadgar pauses to think for a moment. You know what? I think I have something in my lockbox upstairs that is just the ticket. What a guy. Obtained the crystallized soul.
Without you, Azeroth will surely fall.
I have just the thing. Follow me. I feel like he's going to his storeroom of stuff that he's like collected over the years. He literally is. These are chests. Okay. I wonder what is in Khadgar's bank. Hold on for a moment. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a pack rat. Alright, okay. Apex's crystals. Very funny, Blizz. Very funny. Mocking your own stupid system doesn't relieve the fact that you implemented a stupid system. I must have put it over here. Arcane powder, soul shards. That's definitely not it. Okay. Apex's crystals. Aha, here we are. A crystallized soul. That ought to do the trick. Yeah, I just left it in this chest. Would you mind grabbing it? These crystals tend to have rather adverse effects on non-demonic beings. Okay. Nailed it. God, it looks cool. I just wish it was less clumsy than Fell Rush.
Knowledge is power.
I'm always happy to help a friend.
Wisely.
No need to thank me. Just promise you won't accidentally blow anything up in the city. Our repair bills are already astronomical.
Farewell,
Yeah, that's the mages. Return to Jace. That crystallized soul should power your communicator long enough to reach your allies. I must urge you to be cautious. Sandri, if that device is of Legion origin, then you never know who among its creators might overhear your message. I'm sure your men eagerly await your return.
Trust in yourself, Jack.
Ah, okay. So let's go. Yeah, we're going back to Jace to repair the mobile phone. Who's over? Someone's going to overhear then. You don't mention that without basically saying, yeah, someone's going to know you're calling. NSA, man. Fucking thanks, Obama. Intercepting my Legion phone calls. Psh. What do you guys need to know? I'm playing a video game, man. Let it go, dudes. Alright, JC. This guy has been an absolute badass throughout the entire Demon Hunter process. There he is.
We are all
Yep.
stands between the Legion.
Jace glances at the crystallized soul. Yes, yes, that will do nicely. Release its energy to activate the communicator. It should already be configured to contact Alari and her forces. If Kara is out there, we shall find her, and we will make her suffer for her transgressions.
If we don't meet again,
Let's go.
die well.
Alari, report in. Have you located the Warblades? Alari the Soul Eater. Yes. Karia Broken Shore encountered heavy resistance. Uh-oh. So we're going to go and get her. Damn it! Incoming. Damn it all! Incoming! We have their position. That will have to do. Yeah, we're going in.
Life.
Send in me. Kane, any ideas?
My life.
Vengeance will be ours. We aren't going to get our forces anywhere near the Broken Shore without getting knocked out of the sky. I think it's best if you handle this matter yourself. There are none among us more capable on the field of battle. Save Alari and her men if you can. But the Draki Warblades will do far more for this war than warm bodies. This is awesome, by the way. The Fellbat model's in. It wasn't in previously. Look at this thing. It's fucking badass, man. Yeah. How awesome is this? It's inside the prologue of the Demon Hunter bit that I just done. I was like, wow. I mean, I've done that prologue like 8 times now for various reasons. And seeing this was one of the most noticeable things. I like the way its legs dangle behind you as you fly. Look at this. With his big giant arms with the armor on. It's so cool. Right then, let's go see what it's got in store for us. It's got to be said, the tanking artifact quests haven't been overly impressive. The Blood Decay and certainly the Prot Warrior were a little bit lackluster. So let's hope there's something cool here. Asodri, is that you? Finally, some good news. Okay, I've just recognized where we are. This is a repeat area. Interesting. So, some of you have watched some of the other videos, no spoilers, will recognize this area. Carrier left me for dead. The fool. Foolish Carrier. My wounds are severe. You'll have to push ahead alone. Okay, what are we doing? Destroy the Legion Pulse. I mean, Fel Rush you just activate and you go. It's so much better. Alright, so let's put on our... So that's my Immolation Aura. That's the kind of damage you're going to expect to see from that. You can see I'm parrying, so I'm getting some pain. And then Immolation Aura up again. Now what I can then do is drop the Sigil of Fire. Can I just click this thing? I can. And we get a Soul Cleave off the top of that. And you can see now the Soul Fragments on the floor. Oh, we got a boss already. Alright, let's put our Demon Spikes on. Demon Spikes have a cool animation. See the spikes coming out of my back? That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, it is. Gotta make sure I don't die here. I haven't had enough experience with this class to play it without a UI. That's for damn sure. It's gotta be said, once you start getting some pain generation, like AoE tanking gives me so much pain generation that it actually feels nice. It's when you're not getting all this pain generation that the spec really feels like it's missing something. I can see I'm still at full health due to the self-healing that's going on here. Alright, there's another portal. Let's try and just dive over there. I'm going to play relatively closed in because the Demon Hunters are all about spectacle. Even in this form. So what I've tried to do is keep my Fellblade on cooldown. You can see I'm spamming, what's it called? Shear in between to get the cooldown back. Keep up Immolation Aura because we're obviously tanking. Drop down a Sigil of Fire. And get everything burning away. And that's generally how you're going to be playing. Single target or AoE, it's pretty similar. In fact, single target is just much slower because you can't, you don't generate as much pain. I'm obviously getting a lot of my pain from blade turning. You see those corpses? Their souls have been torn right out of their bodies. Yeah, this looks pretty grim. Can I run across this? I'm just gonna leap. Ow! 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 Fuck that, I'm eating. That sucked! Ow. I'm sure I wasn't supposed to do that. I don't know what you're supposed to do to get over there. Maybe just double jump or something. And glide over. Gotta remember that I am playing a Demon Hunter. I can still double jump and glide. Even with this reduced mobility. So yeah, probably supposed to do that. Alright, that should be fine. Alright. Doom Herald Terrar. Immolation Aura on. I'm using Immolation Aura even single target. I mean, I'm still going to use my Flame as well. Oh, they're casters. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to use our Sigil of Silence. We'll pop our Demon Wings. Not Demon Wings, our Demon Spikes. Sorry, I've got to get the terminology wrong. I mean, this, I haven't played this particularly long time. It's not as if I've got like a decade of experience behind me like I have with some of the other classes. And even then, I still got some of the terminology wrong. So you can see how slow this spec becomes when you're not AoE tanking and getting a lot of pain. You're really sort of holding out just to get off a Soul Cleave. And you can see the fragments coming into me there, and purple fragments. It really slows down so heavily when you're single targeting. Which is, I hope there's something in the talents later that really speeds it up. Or at least the artifact weapon. Gorgonash. Oh shit. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Right, so hopefully this is going to be single target. You can kind of get what I'm for. So Fellblade, spam, 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 spam. Let's put down a Sigil. Crushing Slam. Into a Soul Cleave. Fell Firestorm. Can't interrupt it. Okay. Still can't activate a Soul Cleave. Just going to have to wait. Crushing Smash. And you knocked me back into it. Interesting. Okay. And you just wait. You're literally down to 2 buttons for a lot of it, which... That's what sucks. So far for me, this is why I mean, I was hoping, I mean, I'm not saying it won't get better. I was really, really hoping that this wouldn't be this way early game, because you want people to be excited about their Demon Hunters. But some animations could really pick up on this. I'd like to have I-Beam back, that's for sure. Get down! Is he like frozen? Oh, his death's broken. We have to continue. The Warblades are worthy of any sacrifice. Are worth any sacrifice. Okay, we're going through here. This should be where we're going, based on the fact that I have been to this area before on a different class. I'll contact the others and get us a way out of here. Carry us your hunt now. I can see mobs through there. There's the spectral sight, by the way. Yeah, there we go. Don't tease me with I-Beam like that. Can we get more mobs? Excellent. Shot down a sigil of flame. Not getting many parries though. Immolation are up. This is much better than having to carry a DPSer with me. I much prefer this system where you tend to get... you're not reliant on somebody else to do the damage for you, where you just literally absorb damage. Let's pop a Demon Wings. I'm certainly going to be calling that Demon Wings forever. Demonic Spikes is what it's called. Although it still takes a hell of a long time to DPS these down. At least healing's no problem. Every Soul Cleave is just such a huge heal. One left. Soul Cleave. Die, 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 die. What I should be using is my Demoralizing Shout. It does have some damage component to it. Not a great deal, but it does. Okay, onwards. Whee! Let's drop that. Immolation Aura on. Get the Soul Cleaves going. Pop another Wings. Let's put the Soul Burn on. The Fiery Brand. So he's dealing 40% less damage to me now, which is supposed to be its minor component, but it does have some damage to it, as you can see there. The Legion is only the beginning. My blades call upon power from the beyond. An Aldraki Revenant. Look at this. Look at this smart ass. So I'm still using Immolation or a single target. Just because it does have, you know, it has some extra damage, which is kind of more important here. Gotta say, nothing in here posing a threat whatsoever. I'm using Demon Blades as a cooldown just because I'm trying to get the habit there. But it's not something I feel like I particularly need. Okay, I wasn't expecting much compared to the dungeon, so... Yep, this is the last room, I imagine. For every soul I claim, my power grows. I will rule this world. Okay. Sure. Put a Firebrand on. Drop a Sigil of Fire. Which is kind of like a Death and Decay more than anything. It could do with definitely having some more graphics to it. So what you can absolutely do is store up Soul Cleaves. Up to 2, obviously. You have a 100 pain threshold. Which is very clever by Blizz. You have a pain threshold. And once your health's low, you can, you know, back-to-back some Soul Cleaves to make sure you get the benefit of all that healing. As you can see, I just did that there, topping myself off. I hope we get some more pain spenders in the future. So I can make some choices with it. Uh-oh. Oh, my God. I thought I'd bugged us out then. There we go. Claim the Aldraki Warblades as your own. Well, overall, I'm only a little disappointed because I have done this whole area before. Not a great story either way, though. Definitely one of the weaker. I would say that's been a theme. I've done a few of the new ones coming with this build of the Legion Alpha. And so far, the Artifact quests have had far less balls than the other ones. Well fought. We'll have to celebrate later. Legion reinforcements are approaching as we speak. So that's what they look like the initial version. My little female blood elf. So a little bit more self-healing thrown on there, passively. Not bad, not bad. How do I feel about the playstyle? I feel like I've played this class years ago. This is very much how like an early warrior, an early feral druid played. Almost exactly, to be honest. Something to bear in mind, but we always said that Demon Hunter was supposed to sort of... It felt that it was targeted at guys who wanted a very simple playstyle while still achieving some good results out of it. That kind of does fit the theme. I don't think the Demon Hunter Vengeance tank is going to appeal, unless it's very overpowered, to experienced tanks. Because there's not much here to keep you going. There's not much niche abilities or core abilities. And experienced tanks like having those little interesting facets of their playstyle amongst them. I know as I mean, you guys probably know by now, I've been tanking for years and years and years, and this spec really doesn't appeal to me. It's like a warrior without all the fun stuff. Asundri, you're still alive! I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm taking a lot of damage. I mean, I want to put that in context. Because I just don't have many tools yet to do anything about it. I've just got to stick with what I got, and it'll kind of do it itself. What of the others? Did they? I see. They gave their lives for a worthy cause. The Warblades will change the tide of this war. Mark my words.
Remember, nothing.
The return to Mardum. We've managed to make contact with our forces on Mardum. They were able to secure the Fellhammer in our absence. The rest of the Eldari eagerly await your arrival aboard. Matron Mother Malevolence should be opening a gateway there for us in just a moment. Beam me up, Scotty. Opening a gateway now, dears. Step back. So cool. Coming, Asundri? Yeah, I am. So this is our class hall, which is a spaceship, which is awesome. It's been far too long, Asundri. Far too long. Oh, mama. You are my mama. Welcome home. Thank you very much. This citadel was one of the Legion's most valuable assets. It will serve us well. Power of the Master. Although our forces have dutifully held this citadel since your departure, we have been unable to access most of its resources. The Fellhammer can only be fully activated by those bearing the mark of a Legion Lord. Thankfully, your blades carry that very mark. Use them to activate the Fellhammer. Show your forces your limitless power. I've been waiting for this day. Since yesterday. Power up! Follow me. We must address the others. And all the lights and the bells and the whistles just started lining up. Behold the power of the Adraki Warblades. The Fellhammer is ours. I hope at some point we get to fly this thing into battle. That'd be so cool. All the Demon Hunters turn up on their ship. And of course, if you've not seen the actual prologue to the Demon Hunter, these are all the races that you sort of call upon you while you're doing that part of the prologue. So you get the Naga, you get the Shivara, I believe they're called, and of course the Ashsong. We are the blades that will strike down the Legion. We are the chosen warriors of Lord Illidan. So let's go and unlock our artifact ability. I'm not even sure what it is. We are Illidari. The Fellhammer is fully operational, Master Asundri. Cool. Trusted Lieutenant. So we get a follower. Excellent. The spoils of victory. The Fellhammer will be a fine home for our kind, but it is what we found within its depths that is the true prize for our conquest. Battle Lord Gardoon and his Ashtong have it closely guarded. You should have him show you.
If we do not meet again, die must not.
Show me what we acquired. Ah, of course. Right this way. Legion reinforcements arrived quickly after you left for the Black Temple, destroying the portal behind you. Oh, 'twas a glorious battle. In the aftermath, we uncovered an ancient Nethrezim forge used to create some of the Legion's most powerful weapons. We've guarded it carefully ever since. I think it'll prove quite useful to you. She's still here! Fuck off! I told her I wanted her off my ship 3 videos ago. Get out! Seriously. It's my honor to serve, Master. Cool. The Cursed Forge of the Nethrezim. Even as we speak, the Legion's Dark Masters fashion new horrors in hopes that they might destroy us, especially you. You must increase your own power as well. The Cursed Forge of the Nethrezim, our greatest treasure from taking the Fellhammer, waits in the chamber ahead. You can use it to further empower your blades and maintain our edge over the enemy. Use the Cursed Forge of the Nethrezim to empower your artifact. See, I can't click there. It's fucking annoying, this ability. I really hate it. And we get Demon Rage. Reduced damage. Wow. Okay. That's boring. Bark Skin. Yeah, so you can... Okay, so there's loads missing here. Painbringer. Soul Cleave extends the duration of meta and immolation by 2 seconds. Okay, so... Potentially, I mean, from what I'm seeing so far, you can probably get 3 Soul Cleaves out while you're under the effects of meta, maybe 4. So 8 seconds extra. I mean, an immolation aura doesn't cost anything. This is still very much a work in progress. I think that's pretty clear from anybody. Okay, cool. Wonder if it looks like anything. No. No animation yet. Okay. Doesn't mean it's not going to get one. Don't get upset. Such power! The Legion's armies will fall before you in droves. Master, the situation in Azeroth is far worse than we thought. Master, before you lies the Nether Crucible, more powerful than any we've crafted before. The souls of the hundreds of slain demons in Mardoom have provided us with enough power to directly observe the Legion on Azeroth. What we have uncovered so far has been unsettling. Gaze into the pool and see for yourself.
We do not meet again. Die well.
Gaze upon the burning Legion's presence. Gazing, casting gaze, and gazing. Behind the tomb of Sargeras, the Legion's primary gateway into Azeroth. The situation is more dire than we thought. The demons have already spread across much of the surrounding isles. We must act soon, or I fear the situation will become unsalvageable. They really do impress on you, the sense of doom in this expansion. Big time. We must not underestimate the Legion. I fear they are even more powerful than we realize. Time is of the essence. As you can see, there is little time to spare. The Legion's armies already encroach on our world. Kain has gathered the best tacticians around the star map above us to discuss our plan of attack. Your leadership would be invaluable to their efforts. So, from this point on, ladies and gentlemen, it will be selecting where we want to go and level, which we're obviously not going to do. And that is about it. Not the best artifact quest line ever, certainly. But I think they are struggling. I feel like they're struggling to do something cool for the tanks. Particularly. That was about on par with the Blood DK and the Prot Warrior. I would say they're about equally as interesting and fun, and which isn't saying a lot. They're just not that good. So far, the playstyle is super simple. I mean, you'd have to be pretty crazy not to be able to pick this up very quickly. I mean, it's just not that, you know, it's not that difficult to understand what exactly is going on here. That would just go there. It is what it is so far. I'll be desperately looking forward to getting to dungeons to see... I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not sure what I'm expecting to see in a dungeon, because the playstyle is the playstyle. This is what it does. There's nothing that seems to generate pain outside of you actively generating it, from what I can tell. It's not like you gain more pain the more you're attacked. Your pain is tied to whether or not things like you're parrying, or whether you're generating it through pain tolerance. I was hoping pain would be a bit like rage. You take more damage, you gain more pain. But that does not seem to be the case so far. What we have is Shattered Soul. Some of your abilities can shatter the target's soul, releasing soul fragments that heal you. If the soul fragment comes from a demon, you will deal 20% increased damage. Double jump, obviously. Demonic wards. Your tattoos reduce magical damage taken by 30% and increase stamina. Also reduce the chance you'll be crit, so that's your tanking stuff. And then you're into abilities. Spectral Sight, Soul Cleave, Torment, which is taunt, and so on and so forth. The pain mechanic itself could use a little work. Maybe some choice on spenders. Maybe something other than Soul Cleave would be nice. Just so we have something more to do other than can we get to Soul Cleave. But as of right now, it's like baby's first tank, if I'm being honest. I'll do some dungeons on it, but I'm not expecting to see much. There seems to be little to no difference so far on tanking one mob or two, really. I mean, I'm pressing Immolation Aura anyway, single target or not. I'm pressing Sigil of Flame, single target or not. And Soul Cleave will cleave whether I want it to or not. And I have nothing else to decide to spend it on. So, with that respect, this is pretty much what you're going to get. So I'll leave it to you whether you want something nice and simple, which many people do, or if you're looking for a little bit more involvement, you do get Gorfeet's Grasp, which is something. Well, that's about it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy. Bye-bye.